Ever get that feeling? Like you're just not quite hitting your full potential?
Oh yeah, definitely. That there's more you could be doing.
We all get it. And, today we're diving into the world of David Goggins and his book, Can't Hurt Me.
Intense book.
Really intense.
Not your typical self-help feel-good story?
No, not at all. Goggins, he went from, well, a really tough upbringing to Navy SEAL.
Ultra athlete.
Yeah, ultra athlete, broke a world record for pull-ups.
Just an incredible transformation.
And, we're trying to get at the core of how he shifted his mindset, how he redefined his own limits.
Absolutely. What really draws me to Goggins is that he shows just how much our potential is limited by ourselves, really.
Yeah. And thankfully, we've got this awesome summary from KokoRead, which boils down Can't Hurt Me to the essentials.
Yeah.
So for everyone listening, we want to give you those key strategies Goggins used to build such incredible mental toughness.
This isn't just about running ultramarathons or becoming a SEAL, though.
Right. This is about how unlock more of your own potential in everyday life.
Exactly, whether that's at work, with your personal goals, or just getting through a tough day.
And hopefully we have some of those aha moments along the way.
I think we will.
So one of the biggest takeaways right off the bat is the power of identity. Tony Robbins talks about this a lot, how much our identity shapes our actions. It's almost like we're programmed to act in ways that are consistent with who we believe ourselves to be.
Yeah, if you think about it psychologically, our sense of self, it really does set the stage for what we think is possible. When we face a situation that challenges that identity, we often fall back on those comfortable, familiar patterns.
And Goggins, he really embodied this. There's this part in the book where he's in this 100-mile race. I mean, can you even imagine?
Yeah,
And he's in excruciating pain. And he asks himself why he's pushing through this. And his answer is, because you are one hard motherfucker. And that's the moment when that becomes a core part of his identity.
That's so powerful. He wasn't just saying it, he was believing it. And the summary points out, this was a complete 180 from how he used to see himself.
Right. After his rough childhood, he felt like a victim. But he made a conscious choice to change that story.
He did.
He started using these powerful affirmations. I am the toughest man alive. I will be the toughest man alive.
I'm becoming the toughest man alive.
It sounds so simple. But it's that consistency and the deep belief behind it that seems to make all the difference.
Absolutely. It's about actively shaping your self-perception. It reminds me of what Arnold Schwarzenegger said, deciding who you want to be first, then focusing on what you want to achieve. The being comes before the having.
So what's the takeaway for our listeners? Well, take some time to really think about who you want to be, not just what you want to accomplish. What are those core qualities you want to embody? Start with that self-image and let it guide you.
It's worth asking yourself, what identity have you unknowingly adopted? Is it serving you, or is it holding you back?
So true. Okay, moving on. Another really impactful idea. Finding strength in hardship. I think this is a universal human experience. The summary really emphasizes that going through difficult times, it doesn't just leave scars, it builds resilience.
Yeah, it's like a reframe. Instead of seeing those past struggles as failures, you see them as sources of strength. You own your story.
It's like working out. You don't get stronger by avoiding the weights, you push through the resistance. Mental toughness seems to work the same way.
Absolutely. And there's this great quote by Seneca. I judge you unfortunate because you have never lived through misfortune. No one can ever know what you're capable of, not even you. Until we face those challenges, we don't really know what we're made of.
It's like those obstacles, they're not just there to be overcome, they're chances to build inner strength.
And they suggest a really helpful exercise. Write down your past and present hardships and use them as fuel. It's acknowledging those battles you've already won and recognizing how they made you stronger.
Okay, now let's talk about the 40% rule. This is a really interesting concept. Goggins believes that whenever we hit what we think is our limit, we've actually only tapped into about 40% of our true capability.
It's a pretty bold claim, right? It implies we all have this huge reserve of untapped potential.
Right. And Goggins says we don't access it because of this thing he calls the governor. It's like a mental mechanism that holds us back.
The book uses the analogy of a car's rev limiter. It stops the engine from overexerting itself. It's a safety mechanism. And our minds have something similar. It keeps us from pushing too hard, from experiencing too much discomfort, from taking risks.
And it's not necessarily based on our true physical or mental limits. It's more about fear and those ingrained patterns that keep us stuck in our comfort zones.
It feeds off those voices in our heads that tell us to play it safe, to avoid the hard stuff.
So if we want to achieve more, to really live up to our potential, we have to figure out how to override that governor.
And how do we do that? Well, Goggins is pretty straightforward about it. Seek pain like it's your job.
Yeah, it's about pushing yourself beyond what you think is possible, even if it's just a little bit, just an extra 10%.
It's going to be uncomfortable. You might even feel some pain. But that's how you start to recalibrate your limits.
He talks about boxers training to take punches. They're intentionally putting themselves in those uncomfortable situations to build resilience, to expand their capacity to endure.
It's like that idea from feel the fear and do it anyway. You grow the most at the edge of your comfort zone. By facing those fears, pushing those boundaries, you redefine what you think you're capable of.
So listeners, think about where you might be holding back in your life. Where do you sense that governor kicking in? Maybe this week, choose one small area where you can push yourself just a little bit past what feels comfortable.
Think about those tasks you avoid, those situations that make you nervous. Those are often the areas where pushing past your perceived limits can lead to the biggest breakthroughs.
So we know we need to overcome this governor, but how? The summary highlights the accountability mirror.
Ah, yes, the accountability mirror. This is a really practical strategy. Basically, you write down your goals on your bathroom mirror or a note you'll see every day. So they're always there, staring you in the face.
It's a way to fight back against our brain's natural tendency to take the easy route. When you see those goals first thing in the morning, it's a lot harder to hit snooze or make excuses.
It's a daily confrontation with your own intentions. It makes you ask yourself, did I follow through on what I said I would do? Am I truly committed, or am I just letting myself off the hook?
And the advice is simple. Be honest with yourself. Don't make excuses.
Goggins challenges you to pick a big goal and then bring it down into the specific actions you need to take every single day to achieve it.
It's about having a clear plan, not just a vague idea.
Right. And he talks about setting daily or weekly challenges for yourself. Challenges designed to push past that 40% limit. And then the key is, hold yourself accountable for meeting those challenges.
This really reminds me of Napoleon Hill's principles from Think and Grow Rich. The accountability mirror is a way to put those principles into practice. Hill's 6 steps for turning desires into reality. A definite goal, knowing what you'll give in return, a deadline, a plan, writing it all down, and reading it aloud twice a day.
It's all about that consistent reinforcement, that daily engagement with your goals.
Define the challenge, make the plan, and then go after it, day after day.
The accountability mirror makes those goals visible so you can't ignore them.
Okay, let's talk about the power of commitment. The book tells this really compelling story. Goggins is re-entering SEAL training. He's dealing with some serious physical issues.
Microfractures.
Yeah, microfractures in his legs. And he's also in a tough personal situation. Financial stress, his ex-wife is pregnant, he needs to provide for his family, he has to succeed.
It shows how much necessity can drive commitment. When the stakes are high, when failure isn't an option, our capacity to endure can be extraordinary.
And this wasn't a one-time thing for Goggins. Before he even started SEAL training, he had to lose over 100 pounds in just 3 months.
Wow.
That kind of transformation requires an insane level of dedication.
It really does. And as the summary points out, that commitment often comes before you feel fully prepared. You make the decision, and then you figure out the how. You don't wait for the perfect conditions.
This reminds me of what Ben Hardy says in Willpower Doesn't Work. He argues that demanding situations are often the catalysts for achievement, and Goggins seems to constantly put himself in those situations, those grueling races, the demanding CEO role he took on.
It's like Grant Cardone's 10X rule. Commit first, figure it out later. It's that unshakable decision that propels you forward, even when the path ahead isn't clear.
So listeners, think about where a deeper level of commitment could lead to a breakthrough for you. Is there something you're pursuing half-heartedly that could yield amazing results if you went all in?
What are you holding back on? Where could a truly unwavering commitment make all the difference?
Now, this is a really important shift in mindset. Embracing the journey, not just wishing for the destination. The book cautions against what it calls the lottery mindset. This idea that once you reach a certain point, life will become easy.
That kind of thinking can really hold you back because it makes you avoid the struggle, the discomfort that's essential for growth.
There's this great story about Goggins breaking the world record for pull-ups. And he doesn't even celebrate. He immediately moves on to the next challenge.
Wow.
It shows that the work never really ends. It's about that continuous pursuit of improvement.
It's about starting at zero every single time, approaching each new challenge with the same focus and determination.
So instead of fixating on some distant endpoint, maybe the key is to find fulfillment in the process itself.
It's about enjoying the journey, the daily effort, the incremental progress. That's where the real satisfaction lies.
This leads perfectly to the concept of callousing the mind. Just like weightlifters develop calluses on their hands or guitar players on their fingertips, we need to build mental calluses by doing hard things consistently.
It's a great analogy. Those physical calluses are a sign of adaptation, a sign that the body has become tougher. Mental toughness works the same way. You expose yourself to discomfort and challenge, and your mind becomes more resilient.
The summary makes a great point. Any goal that's truly worthwhile is going to be difficult. There are no shortcuts to real achievement.
And they give this really helpful action step. Identify those activities that you know are good for you, but you avoid because they're uncomfortable. And then make yourself do them. That's how you build that mental callus.
Goggins' story about overcoming his claustrophobia by repeatedly entering an MRI machine is so inspiring. He didn't run from his fear. He faced it head-on until it lost its power.
It's about taking control of your mental landscape, identifying those things that hold you back, and actively working to overcome them.
So the book ties everything together by highlighting the two fundamental building blocks of mental toughness: identity and commitment.
This is so important. Without a clear sense of who you want to be and a deep commitment to your goals, all the other strategies won't be as effective.
You can understand all the techniques intellectually, but without that strong identity and commitment, it's hard to apply them consistently when things get tough.
So listeners, understanding and cultivating those two things, your identity and your commitment, that's the foundation.
So to wrap up this deep dive, the key message is this: mental toughness is a skill. You build it through conscious effort, by shaping your identity, by making deep commitments, by finding strength in challenges, and by constantly pushing past your limits.
It's about silencing that inner governor and embracing the process of growth.
It's about recognizing that true achievement comes from consistent effort and a willingness to embrace discomfort.
So as we finish up, we want to leave you with some questions.
Okay, so here's a challenge for everyone listening. What's one specific governor you're going to work on challenging this week? And how are you going to hold yourself accountable?
And think about this. How could a shift in your identity or a deeper level of commitment change the way you approach the challenges you're facing right now?
This deep dive into David Goggins' philosophy, it's just the beginning.
There's so much more to explore in his book and in the world of mental toughness.
So go out there, push your limits, and discover what you're truly capable of.